Health. It trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol JAGX. It's a commercial stage pharmaceutical company focused on developing novel proprietary prescription medicines, sustainably derived from plants from rainforest areas for people and animals with gastrointestinal distress. Happy to welcome back founder, CEO, president, and director Lisa Conte. Welcome back, Lisa. We look forward to hearing your update.
Thanks, Anna. Yeah, I'll jump right into it here. It's nice to see you again. Okay, and we have our forward-looking statements. So, we're often, one of my board members often says, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, is that the definition of insanity? And what he's referring to is our stock price has been flat for some period of time. But what I say to him, what I think is equally crazy, is changing the approach, doing something different and expecting to get the same results. We're not going to be getting the same results because of what's different and the catalyst that we have coming up literally just around the corner. So we have 2 major programs, 5 clinical regulatory catalysts leading to manifestation of 3 potential major business development deals. The first catalyst here is on the rare disease side, or orphan drug program for short bowel syndrome and MVID. We now have 4 phase 2 studies started. Some of this work with key opinion leaders, regulatory agencies, trial design, endpoint definition have been almost 7-8 years in the works. And here they are with the first proof of concept data expected to come out in April of this year, literally around the corner. The patients are enrolled, and that first proof of concept data will come out in April of this year. And there is a major pediatric gastroenterology meeting every year in Abu Dhabi. It is run by the head of the MENA Association, which is Dr. Mohammed Migdadi. We have been working with him for 7 or 8 years. He has the first 2 pediatric patients enrolled at Sheikh Khalifa Medical City, and the full expectation is he will be presenting that proof of concept data at this conference again in April 2025. That's what's different in the rare disease program. In the cancer program, we have for 7 years been planning, executing, analyzing our phase 3 study to expand the indication of our FDA-approved product, Mytesi, from the current indication of HIV-related diarrhea to prophylaxis for cancer therapy-related diarrhea for patients on targeted therapy. Part of the flatness in our value has been that we did miss the primary endpoint that was announced in July of last year. That was including all different solid tumor types and 3 different types of targeted therapies. However, when we look at the prospectively defined subgroup of breast cancer patients, which were close to 70% of the patients, what we found is statistical significance in the responder analysis, the analysis that got crofelemer approved for Mytesi for HIV. It was presented at San Antonio Breast Cancer Conference. It's been presented to our scientific advisory board, which includes patient advocates, and we will be sending a briefing package to the FDA and expect to meet with them in the second quarter of this year, about the same time frame that I previously mentioned for the rare diseases, to clarify the pathway to bring crofelemer, Mytesi, to approval for breast cancer patients as well. The diarrhea on targeted therapy is intense, it's life-changing, it's severe, it's chronic, and it's really unacceptable. We have a non-branded advocacy program called Make Cancer Less Shitty. I personally have interviewed 50 leaders in the patient advocacy area, most of whom are metastatic, who really are now living for 5, 10, 15 years because of these targeted therapies. But the key word is living. They want to live and not just exist. And this is what I call the tush push. There are now formal pathways to bring patient advocates and patient voice into discussions with the regulatory agencies, but on their own, without any prompting from us, the patients, the breast cancer patients who saw our poster at San Antonio, their message is, gee, this product's already approved. It doesn't have any SAEs. We know patients who have gotten it off label. Why should it not be available to us? And that's their own independent foray and meeting with the FDA. On the doggy side, each of the programs that I just mentioned, those events that are happening in the second quarter can lead to major business development relationships, non-dilutive dollars. That's what we have been waiting for. That's what we have been teeing up for years and years. And there's a convergence that's happening right now. The third one is in the dog area. And we have crofelemer approved by the Center of Veterinary Medicine for chemotherapy-induced diarrhea in doggies. And we would like that to be extended to all diarrhea in doggies. And I know the doggy parents would appreciate that. That's not our main line of business, so we're in discussions with potential large animal health partners that would be able to do that. And what's really interesting is if you are a cancer patient in the United States with diarrhea, you can get a prescription for canalevia for crofelemer, but if you're a human, not yet. And that's a major goal that we have going on this year. Last thing I will mention is Mytesi is the only oral drug approved by the FDA under botanical guidance. And under botanical guidance, there's no realistic pathway to bring a generic to market. So we essentially have exclusivity to infinity and beyond. So we're not dealing with any of the patent cliffs that you typically read about in the pharmaceutical industry. Quite valuable in our business development conversations when calculating terminal value and access fees and upfront non-dilutive dollars coming into the company. Crofelemer is truly a pipeline within a product, and we just added a patent filing on a new potential indication, weight loss therapy related overactive bowel, the GLP ones and the GI side effects associated with those. Not something where we're doing clinical work right now, but it is an opportunity and an indication for the future. So I'll stop right there and leave a few moments for questions from you, Anna.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. All right. Yeah, tell me a little bit more about the company's development focus, excuse me, on rare diseases and about the benefits of an orphan drug rare disease business model for the ultra rare diseases like MVID.
Sure. Thank you for the question. Short bowel syndrome is about 40,000 patients around the world. So classic rare disease products that are in that area that are not standard of care because of the side effects, GLP-2s, are typically reimbursed at the rate of about $500,000 a year. You're talking about high mortality, high morbidity, high patient access, a lot of complications in taking care of these patients. MVID, ultra rare, is a couple of hundred patients around the world, and each patient is a bit of a unicorn. So we have already met with the agencies in Europe, for example, where there's an opportunity for PRIME, which is like an accelerated approval in the United States, literally off of benefit that could be seen in a couple of patients, or this proof of concept that I mentioned coming around the corner in April. And also reimbursed early patient access in Europe, a program that does not exist in the United States. And because of that, we do have a footprint, Napothera, in Europe that is gearing up to be able to take advantage of that opportunity and get this product, assuming it's showing benefit, to these really fragile MVID patients who have absolutely no alternative whatsoever out there, nothing in development, nothing available to them.
And so on December 11th at the San Antonio Breast Cancer Symposium, your company presented statistically significant positive results from the pre-specified subgroup of adult patients with breast cancer from the company's recently conducted phase 3 on-target trial of crofelemer for cancer therapy. So tell me about the response to this poster presentations. How was it?
San Antonio is a fabulous conference for everyone in the breast cancer community. So of course the oncology community was there and asking a lot of questions, but two things really stuck out. The first is, I would say I think every manufacturer of a targeted therapy had somebody from medical affairs who came around, because there's limitations in how these drugs can be utilized at full dose or without any interruption or without any resistance that is developing because of interruption, because of the side effects. And one of the most prominent, of course, is diarrhea. And in fact, as more potent agents, targeted agents are being developed. We're talking, 60 or 70 of them or 80 are approved right now. The side effects, and in particular, the secretory diarrhea, is becoming more intense. So that was quite notable. We are helping patients stay on their cancer therapy, and everybody has to be for that. And they are actually helping educate and promote about the novel paradigm shifting mechanism of action of crofelemer mytesi. The other thing was the patients, of course, that I mentioned, and the advocacy that has organically grown there as they are seeking to have comfort, relief, ability to stay on their drugs. And in particular, in this case, it was also the early stage patients who are very concerned about having a recommendation to start at a subtherapeutic dose because of the fear of diarrhea. They don't want to start at a subtherapeutic dose. They've got cancer, they've got an early diagnosis, they want to hit it the right way.
Absolutely. Well, Lisa, do you have any closing remarks for our viewers?
This is the year. It's showtime. It's catalyst time. So there's really a convergence of catalysts that coincidentally are all happening this year, and this is the year we need it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for this update. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, everyone. We'll be right back.